Welcome back to the Barbershop Show. It's me, T-Holla, and my boy Marcus Trufant, a.k.a. True, is here with us. True, man, it's just another weekend of incredible football. We've had 2 weeks in a row, man. We've been spoiled, but now it has come down to the brawl for it all. We know who's going to be in the Super Bowl. It's going to be the Rams versus the Bengals. I don't know who would have picked this in the beginning of the season, but we are here. True, first and foremost, before we dive deep into the games that we saw this past weekend, how do you feel about this game, where we're at, and the football that we've seen, not just this last week, but the last couple of weeks?
T, what's good, man? First, I'll say it's good to see you, brother. Good to see you. But what I'll say, man, this football these last couple of weeks, man, has really been off the chain for a fan like myself. I call myself a cheerleader now. I like to see good football. I like to see good games. I don't like to see blowouts. So we are getting our money's worth these last couple of weeks, and it's going down, bro.
It is really going down, and like I said, we got it figured out now who's going to be in the Super Bowl. It was a race, it was a brawl to get here, but we are here. And the first game I want to jump into that I got a chance to watch this weekend was the Chiefs versus the Bengals. And again, I mentioned it earlier. Who would have thought the Bengals would have been here starting the season in their first Super Bowl since, what was the Ickey Woods years, right? So we saw an incredible nail-biter game that came down to the finish once again. Patrick Mahomes was out there working his magic, but he didn't have enough to defeat Joe Burrow and his incredible array of wide receivers, man. What do you think about this game?
Man, the Chiefs, Bengals, for me, with the history on the side of this thing, and like you said, it hasn't been since the Ickey Woods days. I think 89 that the Chiefs have been in any or the Bengals, excuse me, been in any type of big time game. So you talk about playoffs, you talk about going to a Super Bowl. It's been hella long. I just say that, T. But the game was really good, man. I heard a lot of people saying that we are seeing the future of the league right now, man. These young quarterbacks is really coming out there, man, and making their mark, putting up big numbers. And it's really just amazing to see, man, when you talk about Mr. Burrow, and I guess the dude got all type of nicknames now, Joe Cool and Joe Shiesty, all this other foolishness. But the man is playing cool, calm, and collective, man, and you can't take that away from a young kid. So I'm excited to see what he brings to the table. Very excited.
Yeah. Apparently he does have a lot of nicknames, man. There's a couple things I really didn't realize about your boy Joe Cool, man. He played his ball down there, finished up at LSU. He's always, he's notorious with the cigar and whatnot. I just kind of I'm guilty of sometimes judging a book by its cover. And I didn't realize the kind of guy that he was, because if you've seen the press conference after the game, you see him in front of the media with a big gold diamond chain on. It said with a J Bo or whatever it was, J Burr on his necklace and diamonds.
Burr with 3 R's at the end.
Yeah, Burr, like ice, ice man, the ice cream man. But no, they were like, one of the reporters asked him, is that real? Is that real diamonds on your neck? And Joe was like, make too much money for this to be fake. You know what I'm
saying? For the Fugazi, man. He ain't here for the Fugazi.
I guess, he got those Louisiana, ties or whatever, man. They're kind of swaggy down there with it. But I had no idea he was like that. But going back to the game, True, you looked at Kansas City Chiefs. They stepped out and they looked like the team to beat. And for me, they were the team to beat for the majority of the season. And that's kind of one of the things I want to talk about, man. It's a long season, and nobody knows that better than you, True. Things go up and down, topsy-turvy. You're never really on top the entire way. The Kansas City Chiefs, they were like, in the beginning of the season, I remember the critics thinking, like, did Patrick Mahomes, is he a Fugazi? Are people figuring him out because he wasn't balling like he was in the past? And then mid-season, he kind of caught his stride, and they just looked unbeatable at the second half of the season, and particularly the first half of the game last weekend. And then you see the Bengals put together an incredible second half of football and just went to work. And can you speak to it? Like, when you talk about how long the season is and how long really a game is and how many times games you can start up here and then you can plateau and go down in the valley, and then ultimately it's 60 minutes, right?
Right, T, man. It sounds corny, but people say it all the time. It ain't where you start is where you finish, right? So for the Chiefs, they had a lot of that type of energy in this game. And watching the game from the beginning, everybody was probably thinking, like I was thinking, this is going to be business as usual for the Chiefs. This team, especially on offense, is a machine. They click on all cylinders. Everybody's in the right spot at the right time. And then you got Pat Mahomes out there making the perfect throws and doing everything right. And that's why I went at the beginning, man. It was touchdown. They just bang, bang, bang. And Pat Mahomes went 26 for 39 for 375 yards, but that second half was really the tail of the game, man. They slowed things down, trying to score down there in the red zone. Things really didn't happen like they wanted to. So it came that, or for me, it looked like our superhero, Pat Mahomes, was pressing a little bit, kind of overthinking, overdoing it. Opposite of the other side, you see a guy like Joe Burrow just out there, cool, calm, and collective, taking what the defense is giving him, man, and not really trying to force things in there. He made it look easy, and even though we all know it's not easy, but that's how he made it look, and that's how you know that he was really in his bag and he was on his rhythm.
Yeah, so what I was saying is, looking at the second half of that football game, is that Joe Burrow was out Mahoming Patrick Mahomes. You watch some of the things he was doing back there, and it was like, where did this kid come from? Like he dropped back in the pocket, and it looked like he's about to take a sack, and he spin out of it, and then make another dart like 15 yards over here. There's another guy there. Look here, let me run for this first down real quick and slide. It's not normal to see Joe. I mean, you expect those things out of Patrick Mahomes, but Burrow, he showed up, showed out in the second half and did his thing. And again, took it to overtime. And again, the second week in a row, we've seen overtime games and playoff games. And I can't remember the last time I've seen that. There's been a lot of controversy and a lot of conversations around the country about the NFL and its overtime rules, True. So my question here is, how do you feel about the NFL rule? Do you think it's working? Do you think it worked in this instance? Because, as you know, it's really like sudden death in the NFL. If you win the coin toss and you're able to drive down the field and score a touchdown, it's a wrap. It's a game. Game is over. The other side doesn't even get a chance, man. So how do you feel about the overtime rule, and did it work in this instance?
Well, I think it's going to be funny, T, because the league got an excuse now, right? The first week or last week, they try to say the overtime rule doesn't work. The other guy doesn't get the chance. And then you got this week, and the overtime rule worked like it was supposed to, right? Everybody gets the chance, even though there was interceptions and things happen. Then the other guy, Burrow, came down and was really able to drive his team down there, man, and get points and make it happen. And that's what the league is going to say now, that the rule worked exactly how it was supposed to. But what I want to say is that they need to find one rule, keep it to that, because you're making guys like me look silly, right? Okay, true. You played in the league for 10 years. How does this overtime thing work? And I usually just have to say, I don't know, bro, because it changes so many damn times every year, right, or every other year at least, right, that there's something going on. So don't quote me on that, but keep this rule the same. And I know everybody got something to say. We're going to find a way to cry about something, but just keep it the same, and let's just see where we end up. And that way, everybody knows the rule, and that's it.
Yeah, well, so I got a problem with it, True. And again, it has to deal with consistency. And I think it's consistency on a couple of levels. First and foremost, we grow up playing football through high school and college. You get to college, and there's a rule about overtime, right? Each team gets an opportunity to get the ball from the 25-yard line, and it gets a chance to score or stop the other team from scoring or kick a field goal, whatever, right? So each team gets an opportunity, at least, to put points on the board and win the game. Now, when you leave college and move to the next level, it's an entirely different rule. Like, first and foremost, you've never been trained for that type of rule. Not like that makes a difference, but that's not the rule I've learned all along the way. So now it switches up for me. Secondly, I think it's really unfair. It's kind of leaves you up to luck, right? Like the flip of a coin, whether your team is going to get a chance to score or whether your team is not going to get a chance to score. Now, from the 50-yard line moving in the NFL, if you've been moving the ball relatively well offensively for an entire game, enough to tie the score, you should be able to move the ball far enough down the field to kick a field goal, right? And so that automatically puts you in an advantage. So something in me says I think that there needs to be a change to where each team gets an equal opportunity to score and an equal opportunity to stop the other team from scoring.
Where does it stop, though, T? Where does it stop? It's never fair. As a DB, I seen the pass interference calls this weekend. I could say, okay, it's unfair, change the rule, right? But eventually we have to just come to a point to where we say enough's enough, right? And just make the rule, and everybody got to live by that or die by it. Or at least for some years, I understand you want to push the game forward and you want to better the game over time, but enough's enough. I mean, at least for me, we saw both sides, right? This week it worked, last week it didn't. So, hey, just call it even, man.
So just leave it like that. So if
call
it
a cat's game. It's a cat game. It's a cat's rule, right? So, hey.
whatever, man. Again, we'll see what happens next year. I know they're going to talk about that a lot this offseason. And, you never know what's going to happen in the Super Bowl, right?
Never.
Happen. Maybe a tie, maybe an overtime, maybe something, a coin toss leaves it up to. We're going to find out in a couple weeks. We got one more NFL game this week. And, of course, it's going to be the Bengals versus the Rams. Now, we got to talk about this Rams game, man.
Mm-hmm.
The Rams versus the 49ers was another nail-biter, came down to the end. It was an incredible battle of defenses and pretty good quarterback play by your boy right there, Matt Stafford. So you got a chance to watch this game, of course. What was your impressions of this game, how it panned out? There's lots to talk about in here, but your overall general perception of this game.
Right. Well, first and foremost, for all games the past 2 weeks, I want to make this comment to any young defensive backs out there that want to be game changers. There was a couple plays in all these games where defensive backs had the opportunity to end the game with interceptions late in the game, right? I think it was Eli Apple had a chance. And then it was a young man from the San Francisco 49ers that went to Twitter and he blamed it, put the blame on him for not ending the game, et cetera, et cetera. But it comes down to catching the ball, doing the basic things that you do every day in practice. So get on the jugs, do the basic thing. You play defense. You don't let the ball go over your head, of course, but when your opportunity comes, you got to make it. So I say that to segue into Matthew Stafford and what he was doing, man. And I always want to call him a young guy, but he's not a young guy, man. He's been playing in this league for a long time, got a hell of an arm. They've put the pieces around him to make that team go, man. It's a team full of all-stars, and they look great, man. They look great. The guys that were supposed to show up for the Rams, they showed up, and I think that was the tail of the game.
Right. Now you talk about Matt Stafford, man, and he's been around for a little while, but unfortunately, he's been locked up in a city called Detroit for a long time. So I want to talk to you about that situation. Matt Stafford, in his first year leaving Detroit, making his way to Los Angeles, the NFC West, and now he's in a situation where he's playing for a Super Bowl in the first year. A lot of people in Detroit for a long time were like, we got to get rid of Stafford. Like, we spent a lot of money to get Stafford here. He hasn't brought us what we want. He hasn't brought us what we need. We haven't sniffed the playoffs since, the earth cooled off. So let's ship him out of here. We'll bring in their guy, Goff, and, it's going to be the difference for us. And ultimately, at this point, you have to say Matt Stafford was the big winner in that trade, that the Rams were the big winners in that trade. What do you think about a guy like Matt Stafford who was able to change his environment and leave a program like Detroit and end up in his first year in Los Angeles going to the Super Bowl?
T, man, I think a lot of it is timing. like I said earlier, they put the right pieces around this guy. Matt Stafford went 31 for 45 for 337 yards, 2 TDs, 1 INT down there, tip ball early in the game. But this guy really got some dudes around him, and I don't know if he's really had it like that throughout his career. A guy's being there the whole time, not being hurt. Matt Stafford's always been a guy that's known for having that arm and just being able to gunsling it right and then throw it from all the angles. And really do his thing. But you give him time. You keep the big boys up front off of him, and you let him throw the ball. You can definitely do it with the best of them. And and then you add in the running game, and they built that defense on the other side just to be able to stop people and make it happen. So I think he's in like the perfect situation, not to take away nothing from his game, but he's in a very favorable situation, and the odds are on his side. I would take it as far as to say that the football gods are on his side. You got all-star defensive linemen, and you got one of the best DBs in the game over there on defense that's able to get the ball back to you. You playing all types of field position games, and it just caters right into the offense. You got Cooper Kupp, you got Odell, you got running backs over there that's making it happen. It's perfect storm, bro.
Yeah, you just mentioned somebody else that I wanted to discuss. Someone else who has had a change of scenery, a change of environment. Odell Beckham Jr., OBJ. Now, earlier this season, and even the last couple of seasons, there's been a lot of people talking about OBJ is washed. He's seen his last Pro Bowl type seasons, and he doesn't have it anymore. He's been stuck over there in Cleveland, and he wasn't doing much. He had to get up out of there. And they thought he was a troublemaker and a cancer to the locker room, and all these negative things they said about OBJ. And all he's ever done since he got to Los Angeles was ball out. Every weekend, ball out. I just wanted to say congratulations to OBJ, man. Way to smash all the haters out there that's been talking trash about you. People were talking down on you, saying you didn't have it anymore. And we see week in and week out just what he's able to do on the field. And he performs, man. And I remember when he was on the trading blocks and Seattle had an opportunity to go pick him up. And even Seattle fans were like, we don't want him here. And now he's going to have an opportunity to play for a ring, True. It's crazy.
Man, it comes down that winning cures all, right? Winning hides a lot of stuff. I think the things that were going on with Odell in the past was when it comes down to losing and not doing well, and you're dealing with all this hype for him that is self-inflicted, which is a good thing. I talked about it before, T. This is the new NFL, so guys create this persona, this brand of them on and off the field, and Odell is a mega superstar, a rock star. So when things are going great, hey, man, it's awesome. But when things are going bad, people going to be all over you, man. Heavy is the head, blah, 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 right? So you got to make sure you're doing your thing. But Odell, again, gets to benefit from Matt Stafford, gets to benefit from Cooper Kupp on the other side. They can't double everybody on the field. And then you got your running game that's hitting on point. So Odell is out there being Odell. He's put in a situation that he can let his natural talent flow, and then it's coming together. So Odell, what did he do? He had 9 receptions for 113 yards.
Yeah,
that's a good day, bro. A good day for him in a big game. And yeah, man, put up big numbers. So
and the thing, one of the things that he's benefiting from, and like you said, it's a mutual beneficial relationship with him and Stafford. But I think one of the bigger things that he's benefiting from is playing alongside Cooper Kupp. Now, teams can't train their eyes and their focus on OBJ. Like, hey, we're not going to double team this guy because we got this other guy over here by the name of Cooper Kupp. And I want to discuss this kid, man, because what he's done this season has just been like out of this world. Like, he's another example of don't judge the book by the cover, because all he's done this year is bust every record that's ever been made by wide receivers in the National Football League. He's leading in touchdowns. He's leading in receptions. He's leading in yardage. He has like 1,900 yards plus receiving this season, True. Cooper Kupp is just amazing, and he showed up and showed out again this week versus the 49ers. I mean, in your opinion, as a DB, watching this kid do his thing, man, like what is it do you think that makes him so great? Like I see his ability to run routes. Like he's really, really sharp on his route running. And I'm in my mind, I'm thinking, that's it. But he is, and he does put together a lot of the package that you need for a wide receiver. Like he's pretty quick. He's good speed. But he's not the tallest guy and he's not the fastest guy, but he's literally the best guy.
As a DBT, you hate to play against a guy like Cooper Kupp, right? Because in a lot of situations, you got these try hard guys that aren't very good, right? And they have to try 100% every time there's no playoff. But when you mix that with talent, when you mix that with a great quarterback, when you mix that with a guy that runs very good routes, knows the defense inside and out, you got Cooper Kupp. Just like you said, he's not the fastest dude, not the biggest dude, but if they can measure heart out there and will to beat your guy on every play, he has to be up there in the top. So playing against a guy like Cooper Kupp, I'm not a dirty player and I'm not putting this energy out, but you got to slow him down some way, right? So you got to take your chance when you could take it. And hey man, everybody's wearing pads. We're not doing nothing dirty, but we want guys like that to fill us and let us know, or let them know that we're there and it's not going to be an easy day. And that's really the only way to slow them down. And like I say all the time, T, the best coverage is a sack. So that was really the only way to slow down the Rams this weekend. And
yeah, that was
didn't happen too often.
Unfortunately, the 49ers couldn't get to it. You talked about try hard guys that work hard, have a lot of heart, and there's not any test that's been created to measure the size of a man's heart out there on that football field. Talk about another guy, Eric Weddle. Eric Weddle is a guy that spent the last 2 years on the couch, not playing football at all. He was playing in the same era as you did. I think he might have came into the league maybe a couple of years after you did. I think he's 37 years old now. He's come in and made a big impact on this Rams defense, man. What do you think about Eric Weddle and his impact and the fact that he's going to be out there playing for a Super Bowl in the last 2 years? He's been watching the Super Bowl, not on an NFL team, just chilling.
All I can say, T, is damn. This dude, just like you said, T, I could not imagine. I went through my pickup basketball phase too, right? And that's how Eric Weddle trained, stayed in shape, and you play your pickup basketball. I don't know how often he was playing or what he was doing, but it's different, of course, than lining up in the game before the Super Bowl. So much respect to Weddle. There's not many people that can do it. I don't know what his NFL career looked like as far as the injuries that he may have went through, but it's something to be said about just how this man take care of his body, because he's able to come out, man, and lead the team in tackles, ball, and really make an impact. It's one thing just to be a body on the bench, right? But to come in and make an impact, contribute, continue to show flashes of the type of player you used to be. It's not a lot of guys, players, human beings that could do this. So much respect to my man. And
listen,
I need to take a little bit of what he's taking. So
whatever he's got, that. Please send it my way. True. As you know, we played flag football a couple of years ago. Y'all, I'm telling you the honest truth. I went to the hospital. I thought I had broke everything that was below my waist, and it was flag football. So right. I couldn't imagine. I don't know if you remember this, True, and I'm telling some of our viewers this for the first time. Like I literally was in a wheelchair. Like I
remember that. Minute, and I think I got you on video that next day because we was about to record our show on the radio. I'm like, T, what the hell is going on, bro? Yeah, you was man down.
I was man down.
You was man down. So that just goes to show, bro.
Yep.
This man did a superhuman thing. So much respect.
Shout out to Mr. Weddle. Do your thing. Represent for all those old heads out here. To take it off the field for a second, but still keep it Super Bowl true. I've seen some things online about this game. Now it's the Super Bowl. It's the biggest event in the world every year as far as television, attending in person, all these things that go on with the Super Bowl. It's in Los Angeles, California this year, man. That is, one of the hubs of not just the country, but the world, man. This is the entertainment center of the world. So I'm seeing stuff online where tickets are being sold for this game, like in the $30,000-$40,000 range. True. And somebody actually hit me yesterday and were like, Terry, is this true? Could this possibly be true? And I was like, probably. I would imagine that it's, and for all the reasons that I just said, true. What do you think? You've been to Super Bowls, you've attended. So what are the things? Is it as big of an event as we witness it from our couches in person?
Yeah, for sure it is, T. And it's gonna be funny this year because of COVID and all that kind of good stuff as far as gathering. And I don't know if they're changing the rules or they're doing some different things and what the capacities are, but there is so much going on. I can only imagine being in a place like LA that the stars is going to come out, man. And there's a lot of money to be made for individuals, for the city, for different businesses, for different organizations, et cetera, et cetera. And so that's what it is, man. That's what LA is about. And then you bring in the Super Bowl and you bring all the people. So it's really going down, man. And yes, it's a big ass deal. I'm for one, I did watch the Super Bowl. I'm lying. I watched when it was the Falcons against the Patriots, I believe. I was there for Young Dez and them and watched that come back. Tom Brady and those guys came back to beat the Atlanta Falcons. But the experience, the noise, I know in the Super Bowl I played in, I remembered everything down to the camera flashes for the first kickoff. It's just this unbelievable thing, and it lives up to the hype if you're there in person, a part of that experience. It's the real deal.
Yeah, and like I said, it being in Los Angeles, it takes that up exponentially. You think about, like you said, all the celebrities that are going to be involved in not just the events, but wanting to go to the game, wanting to be front and center. Going to be on the camera, like when they pan the crowd. Oh, look, Bruno Mars. That's why it's such a premium to be at this game this year. I think I told somebody yesterday, I think the NFL is playing recoup from last year's COVID season when they didn't have anybody in the stands. So now we're going to charge y'all. We're going to tax you. Now you want to come to the game, you have to pay. And it's going to be people out there that have the ability to do it, because we're, again, going to LA where everybody wants to be, an international hub for everything. You got Silicon Valley right up the road where all these techies have all this ridiculous amounts of, like, they're printing money. So they're going to be coming down at a party and hang out. And it's just going to be a free-for-all, I think, for people spending money. The last part of this I want to mention, True, is somebody who I think is going to make a lot of money over the next couple of weeks, and I hope he makes a lot of money. Ickey Woods. Ickey Woods, the legendary running back from the Cincinnati Bengals, is going to be front and center. His face is going to be right there.
We got to be right.
Party. You guys want to come to the Ickey Woods party? Ickey Woods Playboy party? He's going to be doing events, commercials. Man, come shake his hand, meet a friend, meet Ickey Woods. When I think of the Bengals, that's really the face of the name that I think of. So I hope he's front and center.
I do too, T. And if he needs a hype man or two, I think we open, right?
Yeah,
so,
I ain't got nothing to do, man. And I don't have $40,000 spent on a ticket. So
yeah, for damn sure ain't got that. I got 5 kids, bro. So I don't get down like that. But yeah, man, I think it's gonna be live down there, man. It's definitely gonna be live. I might try to sneak down there, man. You might see a true sighting or two down there, but I don't know. I got to check in with the boss lady, man, and see what's what. So
I heard that. Well, if you do, I'll definitely be checking in with you and letting the people from the barbershop know what's up with True down there in Los Angeles. Before we jump off the Super Bowl, man, I gotta know, what's your prediction, man? Who's going to win this game? Give me a number if you can. Who's coming out of here as a victorious at the Super Bowl?
I like both teams. So, and you know how I like to straddle the fence, T.
Yeah, shit.
Both teams look really good, man. Both teams are hitting their stride. And I'm usually an underdog guy, right? And I guess I can't even really call the Bengals underdogs no more because they've been showing and proving. But I gotta rock with the Rams, man, and the star power. When the lights come on, the guys that they have should be able to show up, right? If you can protect Matt Stafford, he's going to be able to do his thing. He's going to be able to be himself. You got Cooper Kupp, you got Odell, you got Aaron Donald, you got Jalen Ramsey. That's a lot of star power, man. They invested a lot of money in this. I think it's all just coming together. So I got the Rams 31-28. Don't quote me on that, but if you want to go somewhere, throw some money on that. Just slide me some if it comes true. So yeah, but I got the Rams, bro. I got the Rams. I think they're gonna make it happen.
Yeah, you know what? I gotta agree with you, True. I think the Rams, for them, it's their Super Bowl to lose this year. Like you mentioned, they have the star power. Offensively, we talked about it this whole show. Odell Beckham, Cooper Kupp, the running back, Sony Michel. By the way, Sony Michel is somebody I've been watching play since he was like in 8th grade. I remember seeing his highlight tapes on YouTube in 8th grade. I was like, this kid is ridiculous. And now I'm watching him ball out in a Super Bowl. I think it might even be his 2nd Super Bowl. But anyways, it's crazy to see. They have weapons on offense. But more importantly, defense. Like, it's a murder show over there, man. They got Aaron Donald and a guy who we don't get a lot of hype about in the mainstream media is Greg Gaines, another defensive lineman from the University of Washington. He puts in work on that D-line along with Aaron Donald. And Aaron Donald actually called him the most important player on that defense. So I'll take his word for it. And Von Miller, of course, a KG veteran who's out there putting in work as well. You mentioned Jalen Ramsey. These guys are all over the place doing the thing defensively. It's going to be tough for the Cincinnati Bengals to put up points. I think it's going to be a little bit lower scoring, True, 21, maybe 28.
Okay.
Either way it goes, I expect a really good game, man. And this is the first time in a long time where, and it's a weird situation, True, where I don't even care who wins. Like with these two teams, and I say that like this. I say it like not in a negative way. I mean like in either team could win, and I would be like, congratulations, kudos. If the Bengals win, the underdog came and did something, the unthinkable, the unimaginable, and it's a great, heartwarming feeling for the country.
Right.
And if the Rams win, you get some of these older guys who were brought in to build this super team, and they've done something incredible, and it's here on the West Coast, and we get to play them a couple times as Seahawk fans next year, of course, and every year. And the NFC West is once again representing as the dominant team. So either way it goes, I'm looking at some good football in a couple of weeks. But in the middle of that, we have this thing called the Pro Bowl, which has, in my opinion, lost some of its luster over the years. I wanted to get your take on the Pro Bowl real quick before we get out of here, True, because you have been to the Pro Bowl as a player and as somebody watching young Dez do his thing out there a couple of years ago. What's your impression of the Pro Bowl and where it's gone from back in the day to where it is now?
Pro Bowl back in the day, man, was a thing, something that players dreamed of, man. It was a big help. It helped with contracts. I went to the Pro Bowl my last year, so that contract was right there. So I got the cash in on that, man. But the Pro Bowl is different now, man. Back then, you fly all the way over to Hawaii. You pretty much spend all of your Pro Bowl check. Because I know for me, I had to bring, or I didn't have to. I chose to bring all my family. Brought Tacoma out. I brought New Orleans out. Brought my kids, I brought one kid. Wife might have been pregnant. I don't know. It was a long time ago. But again,
with all them kids.
The whole thing was just different. It was this whole production. Now guys don't so much want to do it. It's gotten kind of funny sometimes if you watch it. I've seen when they've been putting offensive linemen in the backfield and doing a bunch of foolishness. They don't so much. They do, but it's just different, man. A lot of it is geared towards the social media and the interaction of the people that aren't really there. So it's just a whole different feel. And I don't think that players really care about it. I know when I went, you did do adult stuff all day, and you probably did about this much football, right? But it was still about football. And this is a story I really haven't told, so you're hearing it first at the barbershop. All-time great linebacker Ray Lewis, and it had to be Ed Reed or somebody. They was trying to recruit me to come to play with the Ravens, bro.
Oh.
Because it was my contract year, like I said. And they were like, yeah, man, if we could get one more corner. And they was talking about their pass rush, and I really don't even got to play defense because they're going to get sacks anyway. And I was talking to my brother about it, and I was just thinking, what if I would have made that move? What could have happened? Where would I be? Oh, what would I be doing? But everything happens for a reason. But yeah. So yeah, Pro Bowl, trash now. But back then, it was exciting.
Yeah. I remember the days when you would go to Hawaii, man. I think I can't speak from a player's perspective, but I can only imagine that it's a little bit different having the ability to go over to Hawaii in a tropical setting, and you're kind of tucked away, and as opposed to being in Las Vegas where they have it now. Like you can, if you can pretty much go to Vegas whenever you want. You don't get to go to Hawaii whenever you want, right? But, and then of course with the things that you mentioned, you get to add that to your resume and whatnot. So I don't know, man. Is it something that I watched this year or don't watch? I mean, I feel like I need to watch it because I love the sport of football. But then when you watch it, sometimes you're just disappointed because you're like, these dudes ain't hitting, they're not tackling, not running hard. It's just kind of like a pickup. Like, and there's no such thing as pickup football, which in my life, like you don't play pickup football. You either play hard football or you just tossing the ball around. Right. And I think this is more of a tossing the ball around with a bunch of big, strong, fast, rich guys.
I got what you remember or at least I remember this play, and they show it all the time. Like when they show Sean Taylor highlights.
Oh yeah.
R.I.P. Of coming downhill. I don't remember what kicker it was, but that was a Pro Bowl highlight. And I'm surprised like it wasn't a fight because they're supposed to be an understanding, but some guys only got one gear, and Sean Taylor was one of those guys and came downhill on a kicker and knocked him smooth out. So
yeah, I remember that, dude. And I agree with you. There are some people who only know one speed. Sean Taylor was one of those people. When you put some guys, like you said, they put the helmet and shoulder pads on, they don't know any different. Like I can't.
That's Cooper Kupp. That's Cooper Kupp, man.
Cooper Kupp, man. You know it. All right, True. Before we get out of here, I want to do something that we do here in the barbershop. It's when you hear something crazy, something strange, whether you hear it in person, you read it online, somebody calls you and tells you, and you have this look on your face when you hear him say it, it's like, and we call that the blank stare. You know what I'm saying? You like my blank stare?
I like it.
Now, here's a blank stare news item, True, that you are familiar with because you sent it to me, man. And so I wanted to share this with our people out there just so you guys can have the blank stare look on your face. This comes from Instagram, and I don't know how you found it, where you saw it, who sent it to you, how you stumbled across it. But here we are sharing it with the people of the barbershop. We got the video here for you. Oh, we got to put some volume on her. Look at that right there. Can you see her? But you can't hear her. Oh, my goodness. You can't hear her. But, True, what was she singing about? This woman right here.
Well, if I remember correctly, T, I think this young spirited woman here was singing sexual songs, maybe about a brother deacon, such and such, but it was interesting, and she has no shame. She's just making a joyful noise and letting the people know. And it don't matter if teeth was in or out. And you come as you are, right? And that's what
Come
this
as you
young
are.
lady did. So yeah, she.
Sing to you.
Can you hear her now?
Yours, mine, ours. I can do this for hours. Sit and talk to you for hours. I wanna give you your flowers and some champagne showers, shrimps and
Same.
lobster towers.
Shrimp?
But it's me who gets devoured.
Ooh, she said it's me who gets devoured.
Do what you do. I'm empowered. You give me your superpowers.
So my question, True, with this Blake Stare news item, like, first of all, was that TT or was that grandma? Was that mama or TT?
That got to be Nene, or that is grandma through and through. But hey, man, age ain't nothing but a number. So I'm actually bless her soul, man. At her age and doing her thing, and the love is in the air, the energy is there. I'm all for it. Do your thing, sister. And hey, but you still get the blank stare though.
She get the blank stare, bro. And this is the where, you know, age and technology come together in a beautiful fashion. I'm just
in
really
a beautiful fashion.
in a beautiful manner, True. Like, I just want to know, like, who inspired her at that moment? Like, is it an old Deacon Jones that she was singing to, or was it a young buck that she, she's sugar mama for? Who got her fired up? Who got her on fuego?
Maybe both, T. Don't put her in a box. So maybe both.
Oh, grandma out there slanging that thing to old and young.
Hey, free love.
Either way you look at it, man, it was a little bit of Blake Stare news. True. Another incredible week, man. Listen, good to hang out with you. Good to talk to you. Tell the people where they can find the barbershop when they're not looking at us on this right here.
Yeah, you can find us on IG at Barbershop Show, Twitter, Barbershop Show _, and you can find us in our beautiful Facebook group, the official Barbershop. It goes down in there. That's where a lot of these stories come from. A lot of these clips, all that come from that. But yeah, check us out.
Yeah. And until next time, we'll catch you. It's T-Holla and True, and you can catch us only in the barbershop.